Please be aware that the comments, views, opinions shared on this podcast are not meant to diagnose a medical problem and/or legal problem. If you do have a medical problem or legal problem, kindly contact a professional.
Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy, healthy life with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Hi, this is Jimmy Apple, your host, and welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. An Apple a Day is brought to you by www.famousapple.com. That's the home site for this podcast. There you're going to find articles about what we talk about. You're going to find access to our free chat board and our free chat rooms, and you're also going to find connections to our Facebook pages. So if you get a chance, check it out. So how you feeling, my friends? Have you been keeping your doctor's appointments? Have you been getting your prescriptions filled? Have you been taking the prescriptions the way it's written? I'm sure you have. And what about the physical therapist? Have you been keeping your physical therapy appointments? Have you been doing the exercises they give you? Have you been doing the exercises at home that they give you? I'm sure you have. Everybody wants to feel better. Nobody I know wants to feel sick. On today's show, we're going to talk about three things. One is going to be things that we can do to fill our time during the day other than watching TV. Another thing, we're going to discuss saving money again. On a fixed income, we got to find any way that we can save money to stretch that dollar. I do want to speak about this law that was passed in California, it's passed in Colorado and a handful of other states about legalized recreational use of marijuana. That's sticking in my craw a little bit. But anyway, let's start with things we can do here, things to kill time. The first thing that I like to do, and now these are just my recommendations. You can choose whatever you want. You can use these or make up some of your own. Just anything to avoid the TV. That's how I feel about it anyway. All right, the first thing I do is I read. I read everything and anything. I have a Kindle, and on the Kindle, there's a space where you can borrow books. It's like a library, and read them for no charge. And they have them on just about every subject. Like when I was starting this podcast, I was thinking about this podcast over a year and a half ago. One thing is, I knew nothing about podcasting. I knew that you had to get on a recording software and talk, but I had no idea. So I started reading about it. I found out what kind of equipment you need. I found out how to launch a podcast, how to set up for it. So I found out a lot by reading about it. But you can read about anything you want. I mean, they have all kinds of stories, horror stories, love stories, you name it. They have it in the free section on the Kindle. And now if you don't have a Kindle, you can do this on your computer. You can read on your computer. You can read anything, really. I used to read every newspaper that I could find, and I'd read them cover to cover, and all for free. I had no subscription fees. I didn't have to buy them in the store. I enjoyed that. And you know what happens is you say, I'm going to do that for about 15 minutes. And 15 minutes quickly turns into 2-3 hours. You've exercised your mind for 2 or 3 hours, and that's pretty good. Now, another thing that I do is I write short stories. And me personally, I like to write horror stories. You can actually publish your stories on the Kindle. It's very easy, and there's a lot of people that do it. They're making 99 cents for their short stories. You're not going to make a living out of it. But it's fun to see your work up on a list. That's something else you can think about. And you can publish it. It's not going to cost you a dime. Everything that you need to publish, your formatting software, making covers for your book, everything is free. That might be something else you look at. Another thing with writing short stories is if you go on the computer and put in writing contests, you'll be surprised how many contests there are that you can submit your writing to. And you can win anything from money to a vacation to anything. Every one of them have something different to offer. I've submitted a couple. Unfortunately, I didn't win. I got honorable mention. You can do it. And if you work on it instead of watching TV, you never know. You could be the next winner and get your name in some of the writing books that are out there. Another thing you can do is start a blog. Blogs aren't hard to do. It's basically just writing, you're publishing it right away. And a lot of people I know like to read about other people's lives, like biographies and what have you. You could start a blog and do an update daily, bi-weekly or weekly about what's going on in your life. You're disabled, you can work with that and just start sharing your information. Another thing you can do is build a website. Now, this might cost you a little money, like about $12, $14. to find a company to host your website. $14 isn't a lot of money. Now, another thing, though, is if you have cable, or I don't know if Fios does it or AT&T, but with Optimum Cable, they give you space. It's part of the package. They give you space to build a website. That's right. So you could build a website. And again, you can do it on any topic you want. You can do it on fish that walk on the ground, anything. And there's information out on the web where you can do research for your stories on that. And you'll be surprised how many people pick up on it, no matter what the topic. And it's fun. It's fun to see the size of an audience that you get. Another thing is pick a topic. Pick any topic that comes to mind. Any topic you can think of. Put it into Google and see what comes up. You'll be surprised. Again, information that comes up on your topic. It's amazing. And it's interesting. I find it interesting anyway. This year, I still do it today, is I look at other states in the country. I look at other countries. Now, usually when I do it, I look at real estate all over. And I find that pretty interesting. I want to see what houses cost in certain areas. I just find that interesting. Now, the other thing, too, you're looking at houses. You can look at ways to improve your house or your apartment. It's, like I said, for me, that's interesting. And you can always find webcams in states. And you can see what it looks like in lifetime. You can get aerial shots. Mostly every real estate agency, every real estate website has the overhead shots. And you get a good look at the area. It's pretty cool. And it's something to do. Again, you're doing that instead of wasting your time watching TV. Now, I'm not saying don't watch TV. Don't get me wrong. I like to watch TV, but I pick out certain shows. Like I said, I like to write horror stories, but I also like to watch shows on ghost hunting. So I'll watch things like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters and stuff like that. I'll make it a point every week to watch them. But I'm just talking about just turning on the TV in the morning and leaving it on all day. That was no good for me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I found myself my mind was turning to mush. All I even knew was what was going on Jerry Springer or Maury. I'm not a big fan of TV. And, when I first got hurt, I thought, well, this won't be too bad. I'm laying around. I watch TV. But I tell you what, after 3-4 days, oh my God, I couldn't take it anymore. It got to the point that I didn't turn the TV on. I put on the radio, talk radio, just to listen to that. And after a while, that gets kind of boring because it's the same news all day long. So these are just some things to think about. I'm sure you have other things that you like to do during the day. Some people are painters. Some people like to sketch. Whatever it is that you like to do it. Don't get preoccupied with TV. We're going to take a little bit of a break here, and we'll be back in about 30 seconds. An Apple a Day is brought to you by www.famousapple.com. FamousApple.com is the home site for this podcast. There you're going to find articles about the topics we discuss. You're going to find our connections to our Facebook page. And you're even going to find connections to our private chat board. So take a minute, go over, visit www.famousapple.com. But please wait till the end of this podcast. Don't run out on me now. Let's get back to the discussion. Yeah, that wasn't so bad, huh? That was just 30 seconds, a mere bag of shells. Now, I'd like to talk to you about saving money. Saving money is something close to my heart, and it should be yours. We're on fixed incomes, and we have to save. This way we can survive. One of the biggest expenses we have, I know one of the biggest expenses that I've come across, is my prescriptions. I have an insurance plan that does give me a copay for my prescriptions. I do save some there, but there's some that are just really high. If you have a prescription plan that has a high deductible, or you have no insurance, or you use a Medicare, you can use this plan. There's a company over at www.famousapple.com. You go to the bottom of that page and you click enter button on it, and that'll bring you to this company that does discount prescription drugs, not discount drugs. They're legal. There's no strings attached to it. You're not ordering prescription drugs from outside the country. What you're actually doing is you're ordering prescription drugs from local pharmacies. Put in the name of your prescription. They'll search their database and they'll bring up the 5 stores closest to you, and they're going to give you a price for each store. Now, all you have to do is pay this company the prescription price. They in turn give you a coupon that you bring to the store. You get your prescription and you pay nothing at the pharmacy. There's no strings attached to this. There's no monthly fee. There's no service charge. Nothing. You pay for your prescription at the discount price, you pick it up. That's all there is to it. I'm telling you, some of their prices are absolutely unbelievable. Some of them are less expensive than the copays. Here's something right now, and on that page you can see it. There's 9 prescription drugs that are free, and this company does that from time to time. They're free. All you have to do is put it in, pick the pharmacy, and print out the coupon. Bring it to the pharmacy, and it's free. You walk in, and you walk out. Like I said, you're not buying prescriptions from outside the country. The only thing is these are generic drugs, and you have to make sure with your doctor that that's okay. Like Plavix. The generic for Plavix is Clopidogrel, something to that effect. It could be like a foreign language sometimes with some of the names. But you're getting that. Now, I checked with my doctor before I took it, and he said that's perfectly okay. Check with your doctor, make sure that you can use the generic drug. Then look it up. You put the brand name in. You know, if you're taking Plavix, you put in Plavix, and it comes back with the price, and it comes back with the name of the generic that it is, and it actually tells you how much you save. Even if you just want to go check that out, go over to www.famousapple.com, click on the enter button, it'll bring you right to it. It's called medical discounts. Okay? Something else you can do to save money. Do you have a house phone? I know I have a house phone. I have it wrapped up in a bundle with my cable company. And when you look at it, if you break down the fees, my house phone costs me about $30 a month. If you're like me or like anybody else, it seems, in this day and age, you also have a cell phone. You can pay anywhere from, I've seen them advertised for $50 for a plan, all inclusive, and you can go up 65, 75. You can go up high with, depending on what company you're with, the plan that you buy. This here, if I get rid of my house phone, because I pay $65 a month, if I get rid of my house phone and take the $30 savings and put it towards my cell phone, I'm only paying $35. Now, how is that? Your cable bill goes down, your house phone is gone, and now you're taking money off your cell phone. I don't see any downside to any of this. Now, some people say, well, I use my house phone line because I send fax. Okay. You do know that there is fax companies online that you can use, eFax and something like that. And I checked out the price on that. The price on eFax is $16 and change a month, and you can send up to 150 pages of faxes. Do you send 150 pages a month? I know I don't. You can actually avoid that because nowadays you can scan a paper into your computer and email it to someone. You don't need a fax. Fax machines are going the way of dinosaurs unless you're a company. It seems everyone has a fax machine in their house because you have a printer, and 9 times out of 10 it's connected to the printer. But here you can save $30 a month, and $30 a month is better in my pocket than in the cable company's pocket. That's the way I feel about it. You're not going to get hit with all the other taxes that are involved with the home phone. You're going to still have your taxes on your cell phone, but you're eliminating that $30 savings is big because, again, it lowers your cable bill, it removes your house phone, and it lowers your cell phone bill. Give me a negative about that. Tell me something negative about that. You're saving $30 a month. And when you figure it out, you're saving $360 a year. That's $360. That's better in my pocket. That's just something to think about. If you can eliminate your house phone and talk to your spouse about it, your husband or your wife, and see what they say. But that's a big savings. One more savings tip that I've come across this week. If you're like anybody else, you do a lot of shopping online. You shop with some of the bigger online companies. You have to pay a fee yearly. That fee will give you free delivery or free 3-day delivery, 2-day delivery, whatever it is. But you're still paying $100 a year, $110 I think it is this year. Walmart is trying to compete with some of these bigger companies. So now they're offering free, that's right, free 2-day delivery. That's phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. You can do your grocery shopping if you wanted to. I wouldn't order anything that's perishable, but you can order a case of water, soda, bread, cereal, cookies, snacks, pasta, tomato sauce, tuna fish, coffee mate, peanut butter, jelly, and so on. You can order all of this stuff, and instead of you having to drive to the store, get online, pay for it, bring it out, load it in your car, drive home, get in your driveway, unload it, carry it into the house, forget about it. You order it, it's delivered to your house. All that other stuff is cut out, and it doesn't cost you a dime. Hey, anyone that's been at Walmart knows that they have 40 registers and 2 cashiers. All that time you spend in the store, it could be ridiculous, but here they have this plan, and how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? Now, I do think that there's a minimum on it. I think it's $40. But if you're doing grocery shopping, well, heck, you're going to spend more than $40, no? The only thing you're going to have to do is go to another store, or you can go to Walmart to get the meat and milk and eggs and stuff like that. You can get all that dry stuff and non-perishables delivered right to your door. You bring it in, you put it away, you're done. You've done your shopping. You can also order shirts, pants, underwear. If you know your size, you can order jewelry. You can order anything that Walmart sells. You can order a TV, and the prices are right there. You go on their website, everything's there to view. It's like shopping in the store, but right in your home, in the comfort of your pajamas. Maybe you have a cup of coffee and you're just looking over the website, picking out what you need. You can't beat it. That's a win-win situation as far as I'm concerned. I wanted to talk to you. I told you in the beginning of the podcast here, something that's bothering me, and it's been bothering me since the beginning of the year. That's the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. Not in the country, in certain states. It's still against the federal law, but certain states have legalized it. I just have to ask them, what are you, nuts? Are you nuts? This is something that your parents didn't want you doing it. You didn't want your kids doing it, and now you're saying, oh, it's okay, go ahead, go out and do it. You're trying to tax cigarettes in the tobacco company out of existence. You got that $10 a pack for cigarettes. $10. I used to buy cartons for $10. And you say, well, pot's not addicting. My butt. Pot is just as addicting, if not more so, than cigarettes. And you're going to tell me, oh, the secondhand smoke, tobacco's got chemicals in it. All right, it's got chemicals in it. Secondhand smoke from somebody smoking pot gives you a contact high. Can you imagine? You have your friends over. They don't smoke pot, but you're smoking it in the house because you really can't smoke it anywhere else. But you're in your house, you spark up a joint. Your friends are sitting there, you're sitting around the table talking. They don't realize it, but they're getting high with you because of the secondhand smoke. They go outside, they go get in their car. The first thing they're looking for is McDonald's because they got the munchies now. God forbid a million times over, but they get into an accident and they kill a family of 5. They T-bone a minivan because they're stoned. And don't tell me it doesn't happen because your hand-to-eye coordination is impaired when you're high on pot. Pot mellows you out, man. Don't you remember when you were a kid, you knew the guys in the neighborhood that smoked pot because they walked around looking like melon heads? Is that what you want? These are the people that are going to be running our country someday. And don't tell me pot's not a gateway drug. It most certainly is. There was a piece on this legalized pot on the news, and they had a guy that used to be an addict. And he told us that he started out smoking pot. That's how he started. And what happens is, you get the first time you smoke a joint, boy, you get twisted. You're feeling good. But what happens after that is it takes a little bit more each time to get that same twisted feeling. You go from one joint, you smoke a joint, you're feeling, wow, you're feeling fine. You're ready for anything and you're nodding out because you're just so relaxed. But then you want to smoke it again tomorrow. And you want to get that same feeling. But in order to do that, doesn't work with just one joint. Now you're going to have to smoke 2. And then it progresses 3, 4, 5, 10 to get that same twisted feeling. And soon you're not getting it anymore from pot. So now you're going to look for something else. You're going to say, well, it's not that bad. I'm only going to use it a little bit. Like crack, it's a gateway drug. And anyone that doesn't believe it is in denial, I think. And you can say, well, I smoke pot and I never went on to anything else. Really? So you never went on to drinking because people say, I smoke pot so I don't have to drink. So you never went on to alcohol? Yeah, that's something else that everyone complains about. Pot was legalized a few years back for medicinal reasons. It helped people with glaucoma, people in pain from cancer treatments, people after chemotherapy. It helped them, helped people with bad joints. Arm, shoulder, elbows. It helped them relieve the pain. It's like a painkiller. Now they legalized it. So what's next? Are they going to legalize Percocets? Darvocet, they're going to legalize Dilaudid, Versed. These are all painkillers. These are all things that are going to make you nod out. Are they going to legalize Propofol? The stuff that killed Michael Jackson. This is a slippery slope we're on, people. I worry about the future of our country at this point. And I have to tell you one thing. I don't want my kids, I don't care how old they are, I don't want my kids smoking pot. I just don't. Remember what your parents used to tell you. They didn't want you smoking pot either. Back then, my father would have broke my neck for smoking pot. There's no difference today. say. And like I said, now it's legal. You're going to have people smoking more freely. You're going to have people that stop smoking, start smoking it again. Where's the outrage about this, people? Where is the outrage? All right, we're going to let that go at that for now. I'd like to thank you for stopping by this week, and I want you to have a good week. Remember, things can always be worse. If I can ask, would you do me a favor? Give us your opinion on this pot deal. Write down in the comments box below what your feeling is. Is it good, bad, or you're not sure? And also, while you're down there, if you can give us a rating on the show and a critique. Let us know if we're doing okay, or even if it's something negative, put it in there. This way we can make it better. We can build on that with your help. Now, if you don't want to write in the box, you can always send us an email at admin, ADMIN, at famousapple.com. Okay? Well, you guys have a good week. Make sure you follow the doctor's orders, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.